Hey Heal Squad, so today I want to talk about why you keep attracting men that you have to build. Now, there's a difference between building a life with a man and actually building a man. And over here, we don't believe in build a base. So if you are questioning, like, am I picking wrong? I want to let you know you're not picking wrong. It may be what you were taught your value was as a woman. And that's why you keep attracting men that need to be built versus men that have already been developed. Welcome to Heal the New Sex, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, relationships. So my name is Cynthia. I am a licensed therapist and coach. And I just want to talk about, I think I have like just a few points as it relates to why we as women, because I have been guilty of this as myself, attract men that we have to build. You essentially are picking up where their parents left off. And I know that's not what you want to do. I know you want a healthy love. I know you want a partner that's fully developed. And I know you want to build a life with a man, but not have to build him. Okay. So if you keep meeting men with potential, men who need guidance, healing, direction, and structure, and somehow you always becoming the one, to build him up, then this video is for you. Because this is not coincidence. This is conditioning. Many of us, have been conditioned as little girls to build men. Our childhoods are very different. Women are socialized to be mothers and to be wives. We are not socialized to be creative. We don't have the same abilities as men do as it relates to play in our childhood. If you look at the toy industry and what's targeted to little girls versus what's targeted to boys, my son wants video games and Beyblades, okay? There is not a husband set, this is how I couldn't give my son a baby doll. Y'all will come and get me. But we give girls baby dolls and we praise them for being good mothers, and we'll give them a kitchen set and we'll praise them for learning how to cook, and we'll raise our daughters and we'll say, you need to know how to cook and clean for your husband and for your children, not necessarily for themselves. We raise our daughters for someone else. We don't raise them for ourselves. And oftentimes we'll raise our son very selfishly. Okay. But point number one, you were taught to date as a helper, not as a partner. So you don't enter dating as it relates to looking for equal partnership. I did a video a couple of weeks ago and I talked about how Black women are looking to be treated as an equal. And a Black man commented and basically told me that we're not equal, and I blocked him. Anyone who looks at you as a woman and thinks because you are a woman that you are not equal to them, to me, in my opinion, that's problematic. That's misogynistic. And over here at Heal the New Sexy, we don't get down like that. But many of us were raised to be helpers. We weren't raised to look for equal partnership. We were taught that our value was in our labor, not in our being. So when you start dating a man, you start giving value because that's what you were taught, that your value was in your cooking, your cleaning, your emotional labor. You start figuring out problems for him versus supporting him as he figures out the things in his life. He got bad credit, you helping him get good credit. His resume isn't done, you help him do the resume. He needs a job, you hooking him up with your connects, you providing your financial support. And that's not what it's supposed to be, especially in dating. Your role in dating is to observe, to see if there is alignment for the two of you to become one, if that's what you want to be married. Because I know some of the Heal Squad members don't want to be married, okay? You enter dating looking for where you could be useful. Because somewhere along the way you were taught your value is what you do and not who you are. So you show up looking at, how can I support him? How can I help him grow? What needs can I meet for him? That's not your role when you meet a man, to evaluate him and to look like, oh yeah, I can help him with this and I can help him with this. That's not your role. You need to get to know that. In getting to know him, you need to determine if the two of you are compatible, and also are you two of you suitable? Do the two of you together make sense? Not, how can I serve him? Instead of asking, is he already what I need? Does he have what you are looking for? And this is the thing, many women aren't clear on who they are compatible with, who they are suitable with. They're not clear on what makes sense to them. We're just taught to shrink, get a relationship, have a partner, move forward and make it work. And whatever he wants, that's what it's going to be. So even if I have to build him up in order to be with him, then that's what I have to do. versus, let me sit back. Does this work for me? Does this make sense for me? Does what he want out of life and what I want out of life, does it match? Or do we want two different things? If we want two different things, being comfortable and okay with saying, listen, you are a fantastic man, but we want two different things. I wish you well. A woman that looks at a good man and says, he's a good man, but he's not my man, and goes on about her life, society's going to be like, girl, are you crazy? Because many of us, society has conditioned us that there's a scarcity of good men. And because we have been conditioned that there's a scarcity of good men, that's how we show up in our dating. So if we get a man that's relatively decent, then we want to hold on to him, versus believing that there is someone out there that is compatible and better than what we currently are experiencing. All right? So this creates a dangerous dynamic when you are, instead of looking at him saying, is he what I need? It creates a dangerous dynamic because now you're trying to shape him into the man that you have in your mind versus respecting who he is currently. So you are the one that's pouring out to him, the one that's teaching him, the one that's stabilizing the relationship. You are the caboose of the relationship. And you may get frustrated because you've done this. So maybe you're in the relationship now. Now you're frustrated because the relationship is not moving forward. It's not moving forward because he never was in the seat with you as it relates to moving the relationship forward. You were the one pushing the relationship forward and building him and pouring into him. And now you're trying to figure out why he want to get married. It's because this dangerous dynamic has been created between the two of you. Or some of you pushed, and now you've pushed and now you are married and you're dissatisfied because this is how you showed up. And you're trying to figure out, why doesn't he see me? Why doesn't he respond to my needs? Because you showed up providing labor. You didn't show up saying, were we compatible? You didn't show up saying, him as a person, his being, can I see him being in my life? If nothing changes about him, and let's say this, you see that he is a half-raised son, because some parents half-raise their sons and overdevelop their daughters. Him as a half-raised son, not a healthy man, him as a half-raised son, if nothing changes, can I be happy here? And if the answer is no, then you must go. But if you're married, that's a different topic. And if you need to discuss this more, click the link down below in the bio and schedule a coaching call, okay? Point number 2, society trains us to be understanding of male underdevelopment. Half-grown sons, half-raised sons, right? We are socially conditioned to have empathy for male dysfunction. You're told he's just figuring it out, to be patient with him, that men mature slower. And I find it so wild that we've bought into the notion that a man matures slower, that biologically he matures slower when he's supposed to be seen as the head. Why would the head mature slower than that which is supposed to lead? For my Christian girlies. For my Christian girlies, let me know below. Do that make sense? I would think that if this person, if a man is supposed to be in a leadership position, because a lot of my girlies say, I want to be led, Cynthia. Okay. If he's supposed to be in a leadership position, I would think that he would mature quicker or at the same pace. I don't think men mature slower. I think men are allowed to not have to mature. They don't have the pressure to mature. Why? Because the responsibility of a baby is not on them, it's on you. So you have to go to school and get good grades. You have to get your bachelor's, master's, PhD, MD, Psych D, RD, elemental P. You have to get all that to be able to take care of yourself in the event you have a child. That's why also men are able to walk away from their children and there's no true consequence. Men don't mature slower. That's a cop-out. Society allows them to be underdeveloped because they don't have a time clock, because they can have children for the rest of their life. So while you are like, let me get everything together so that I can get married, so that I can have a baby by this age, because I'm, the clock, the biological clock, that's imaginary, the biological clock. He ain't got no clock. That's why he can go to college and flunk out, work a job for a decade, go back to college in his 30s, get his degree in his 30s, and by 40 be ready to be married. Meanwhile, by 40, you're my clock, because society allows men not to have to be responsible. Unless their parents put in them that they need to be disciplined and responsible and prepare them to have meaningful relationships. That's why men, quote unquote, mature slower. They don't. They do not. Any mother of a son knows the boys mature and are intelligent and bright, just as little girls are. I'm raising a 10-year-old son. He'll be 11 this year. He's extremely intelligent and bright and capable. He is not maturing slower. That's a cop-out, right? We're told also not to expect too much. And in the church, this gets spiritualized. Oh, Smithy, I was raised to be a wife. I was raised to be a wife. The apostle put the oil on me. I got my oil on me. Put it on me. You're going to be a wife. So I'm a helpmate, Smithy. This is the job of a helpmate. A helpmate's job is not to develop her husband. That's not her job. That's his parents' job. He needs to be able to stand on his own 2 feet. He needs to be able to demonstrate that as an individual, he's able to take care of himself. If he is unable to take care of himself, how is he going to be able to stand up to take care of you and your family if the 2 of you are to get together? Helpmate. There's a teaching that I'm going to put in the membership within this week. I'm not going to teach it right here, but many of us have been conditioned that a helpmate essentially is a servant, and that is not what it is. Many of us have been conditioned to accept a whole lot in relationship and marriage because we are a helpmate. And we have basically been taught that as a helpmate, you are that man's parent, you are his sex slave, you are all of these things, and that is not the truth. A helpmate comes beside. Look at all the things Adam had before Eve came. Was Adam underdeveloped? The Lord looked at him and said, it's not good for man to be alone, all in one. And from him pulled out Eve. God didn't look at Adam and say, oh, you're underdeveloped. So let me bring a woman in your life so that she can help develop you. No. But what gets lost for many of us, Christian girlies, a helpmate was never meant to compensate for a man's lack of development, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's not what it was for. And sometimes I see girlies, you're fasting and you're praying for this man's development when really it's a decision that he needs to make to be developed. God doesn't go against somebody's free will, because if that was the case, everybody would choose God. But he gave us choice. And a man's lack of development and how he shows up is his choice. And many men know that whether I'm developed or not, a woman is going to accept me. A woman is going to help me. You'll see a man go from one woman to another woman to another woman to another woman. And some men's lives improve. Why? Because every woman puts something in him and his life improves. But there's some men that go from one woman to another woman to another woman and their life doesn't change. Why their life doesn't change? Because they know I can be with a woman and guess what? They're going to do it for me. You are not called to raise a man. That's what K. Michelle told us, right? Can't raise a man. Y'all know I don't sing, right? That's what she told us. You're not assigned to complete a man who hasn't done his own work. But many women have been taught that love looks like endurance plus patience plus sacrifice equals commitment. So you show up already making sacrifices in order to get a commitment. You are performing for a man who's not developed, who doesn't even have the capacity to truly meet you. And that's why you're frustrated, because you are getting a relationship with him and then you feel stunted. Now you're saying he's not growing. He doesn't want to grow. He was underdeveloped when you got with him. Personal development was never a value for him, but it's a value for you. So you have to ensure that when you are getting a relationship with someone, that the values match, not just coming in to serve, but do our values match? Are our values aligned? Do we value the same thing? The other reason why you keep dating men or attracting men that you have to build is because you confuse potential with partnership. Potential is when you project what you see onto that person without respecting who it is that they are and what they show you. Potential is a trap because it's about what you see. It's not who they are. It's about what you see. So this right here, this potential is what keeps the cycle going, because you're not dating who he is. You're dating what you think he could become. And sometimes we date men based off of potential, and they aren't in agreement with that. That's not the man who they want to be. They want to be who they are. I thought, no. And another thing is that you are projecting your good character and good nature onto that man. And that may not be who he is. Oh, Samantha, he could be this, he could be that, he could be, oh, he's not that. That's the delusion. That's who you're creating him to be in your mind. And some men are crafty enough that they will feed the delusion because it keeps you in a holding pattern. So you see his ideas, his emotions, his good heart, his future plans, and you emotionally invest in that version of him, but you're not paying attention to who he is today. You're not paying attention to his actions, his behaviors, if he gives you the plan, you're not paying attention to the steps that he's taken to make the plan a reality. Because there's some men who sell a whole lot of pipe dream. And there'd be a whole lot of pipe and not enough dream. All right. And so in your mind, you end up bridging the gap between who he is and who he says he wants to be, or who you think he could be. And then that gap becomes your responsibility. And now you start performing. So now you're encouraging him, reminding him. Now you're setting up the place for him. Now you're waiting on him. I think it was Desi Banks a couple of years ago on the Shannon Sharp podcast. He talked about the young lady that he was in a relationship with, that he was living with, and how she eventually put him out because he was not paying any bills. He was not taking care of himself. She was financially taking care of them. And now it was basically like, well, look at me now. Like, she didn't believe in me, but look at me now. And some of you are struggling with that because you're like, well, Samithia, what if it does come true? And then somebody else benefits from all of my hard work. You shouldn't be working for it anyway. And if that man doesn't have first of all, as it relates to development, let me say, because a dream and development are two different things. As it relates to the dream, a man, your man who loves and cares about you would ensure that he's able to take care of himself first, and he's not depending on you to take care of him. Let me just put it out like that. So if he got to go out there and sell plasma, he's selling plasma, he's doing Uber, he's doing Instacart, he's doing whatever he can to fund the dream. He's not looking at you to fund his dream. He's not looking at you to supplement his lifestyle, because he know, if anything, and let me say this also as relates to like loaning money and things like that. I know a man would not want to ask his woman for money. He will go ask his homeboy, he will ask his family, he will ask the bank. A lot of women are overgiving in relationships with the hope that one day it's going to turn into something. You have to calculate the risk. Okay? All right. So we're calling this love when the man becomes our responsibility, because we're believing on the potential versus respecting who he is. But that's not love, it's labor. And I want you to stop laboring in your romantic relationships. If that man is not developed, if he is not ready to be a partner, then he's not ready to be a partner. And you do not have to make a man ready to be a partner or ready to be a husband. It's not going to work. You're going to end up frustrated. Okay? Well, I want to hear from you down below. I want you to know that healed women don't look for projects. We're looking for partners. And over here, it is my hope that in watching these videos that you understand that a partner will come prepared. You are doing your work to be prepared. He is doing his work to be prepared. And when you get together, it's going to be good. All right. Be sure to join the membership. You can click the join button below. If you need help and you're looking for a coach, you can schedule a coaching call. The link is in my bio, but also be down below in the description. Until we talk again.